Okay, this is Lauren with WeightWise in Oklahoma. Lauren is a lead dietitian. Thank you so much for joining, Lauren.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So the title of this episode, we're talking about how to increase supplement sales. And before we jump into that, can you tell us just a little snapshot? How did you get where you are at WeightWise?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been at WeightWise for about 8 years. I started out actually as an intern. I was a student that came into WeightWise and was able to be there as a student for a few weeks. And they had an opening, and I found out about it, and so I was able to start kind of as an entry-level dietitian. Worked my way up over the years, and for about the last 3 years, I've been the lead dietitian, and I manage a staff of two other dietitians, as well as manage our e-store.
Yep. Okay. And just to give context, tell us a little bit about the flow at WeightWise. I mean, patients that you guys deal with, number of patients at a time, some
Sure.
stats like that.
So we have, we do 500 surgeries roundabout but we see about 1,300 new patients every year. And so we have a very busy clinic that we have a lot of patients flowing through every day. I would say on average per week, we have between 400 and 500 patients through our doors every week. And with that comes, quite a few staff. And I'm really proud of the comprehensive program we have. We have 3 dietitians on staff. We have 2 exercise physiologists. We have a psychologist who runs our support groups. And so it's a very comprehensive program in that everything is in-house that people are seeking as far as both leading up to surgery care, leading up to a bariatric surgery care, and then also the post-care. Yep. You don't have to send anyone outside of our doors for anything like that. And I think because of that, everything being in-house, it really helps our store as well, because we can also say, you don't have to go anywhere else. Everything is in your building. Like you come here, your support groups and your psychologist and your exercise, you come here for your nutrition. You don't have to go anywhere else. Yep. And I think that's one of the really nice lead-ins for the store that happens.
Yep. I agree. And I remember, I've visited you guys a couple of times, and your store is, you go up to the second floor, right? Second floor, and you get out. Mm-hmm. And really the front office is in, hopefully I'll have a picture I could show, but it's featured at the front, the girls at the front desk, and then behind mm-hmm. them is the entire supplement store. So it's always featured well. And then I remember I was in your office, or maybe Trevor's, and one of you told me how much you do per month in supplement sales. And I've never heard a number even close to that in my life. So do you mind sharing the monthly number of supplement sales?
Yeah, sure. So, pre-COVID, it was a little bit different. So I would say pre-COVID, we were in the $70,000 to $80,000 per month range, $70,000 to $80,000 total net sales per month. Post-COVID, so since March, that's dropped a little bit, and we're around 63 to 66,000 per month. And I think a lot of that is because we're working virtually still, and we don't have that visual cue. Like you mentioned, like you walk in and you see it and it's right there. Yep. And so I think that's hurt us a little bit, but we've been able to maintain our profit margin really well. So the lowest month I think we had was right around like 60 to 62,000.
Wow. So obviously you lost all the over-the-counter sales, but all the rest of this monthly number is drop shipped.
Yeah.
And you guys, I know some clinics will, they'll sell it on their store and it gets shipped from somewhere else, but you guys box everything up and ship it out from your office.
Yeah, we ship everything. So we have a really good relationship with all of our vendors. I'm the one that does the ordering every week. And so I order and I get everything in, and then it's really the dietitians who manage everything from the time someone is really asking about the product or wanting to know if it's a good product for them, a lot of times they're referred to us, and we help them with whatever they need, and then we're the ones that are shipping it out to them. So the dietitians really have a hand in every part of that.
So are you guys starting to mention supplements and things way pre-op? Is that where they start hearing it?
Yeah, and so I think that's one thing that also helps is, the first time a patient talks to our surgeons, they are actually told about the store from the surgeon. So we have what's called a quick start kit, and that provides a variety of protein shakes, protein bars, different types of supplements in the protein category. And so when the surgeon talks about it, the patient hears about it like, oh, okay, that's something that I have access to.
Yeah.
And then from there, they talk to the dietitian next. And we have a pre-op vitamin bundle that we always recommend. It's a multivitamin and a probiotic. And we're like, you're going to be on vitamins every day after your surgery for the rest of your life. This can take some time to build the habit. And so we talk about it in a lot of ways of habit forming. We also talk about how we're going to check labs and say, like, if your B12's low, if your vitamin D is low, these are things that we need to go ahead and start getting corrected before your surgery. And so we kind of plant that seed of quality vitamins matter. Over-the-counter vitamins are not going to be sufficient for your needs because they're not regulated and they're not required to be regulated, but bariatric vitamins are. And so we do a lot of very, very heavy education on quality vitamins. And we also do a little bit of an education on, we price below Amazon. So if you're going to go to Amazon to look for your stuff, you might as well come to our website too, because we price below them intentionally.
Yeah, that's a good word. I don't know, because a lot of clinics we talk to, they do more cases per year than you guys, but their store sales are a tiny fraction. And that's oftentimes what comes up is they say, well, people come in here, but they can get it. They'll go order it online, or they'll start going to Sam's and they see that they can get it for $7 cheaper.
Right. Well, and that's the thing though, that most bariatric vitamins, if you're really looking at a quality bariatric vitamin that's going to help sustain someone's levels post-op over time, you're not going to be able to find that at Sam's or Walgreens or CVS. You really have to go to a bariatric vitamin company to be able to get that quality. And so we do talk about how preventing deficiencies is cheaper than treating a deficiency. An iron infusion is not cheap. And so it's better to kind of do it ahead of time to prevent that deficiency.
Yep. Okay. So then how do you, who is making that sale? And when I say sale, is someone sitting down with the patient and saying, look, we can get you set up on monthly recurring with credit card. I'll put it in, and every month you will just get what you need for forever. Is that how that works?
Kind of. Everyone who talks to the patient should be quote unquote making a sale. In that, if we call them patient advocates, I think other programs might call them, something else like a liaison or whatever. But our patient advocates, if a patient talks to them and says like, hey, yeah, like you told me I have a vitamin D deficiency. What should I do about that? And the patient's like, oh, we've got that up front. You can order it online. It's free shipping. If you order on a support group day, there's a discount. Like they know, the patient advocates, the front desk know every time we're running a discount, what days those are, how to order and what to order. Yep. And so everyone is really kind of making that sale. Now, when you're looking at the reoccurring billing, that is a very large part of our supplement sales. Is our reoccurring billing, and that happens in our post-op diet class with the dietitian. Okay. And so the post-op diet class is something everyone's required to take. And so in that class, the dietitian is walking through that and how that needs to look. We can sign people up for it, but they can also sign up for that subscription online, which makes it really easy.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I guess pre-surgery, or you guys have also, well, this is probably a whole separate session, but you have, pre-COVID, what was the normal number of people showing up to your support group?
Oh, um, I pre-COVID, I don't even know. We have them every week, every Thursday. There's a group. I would say 40,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Like somewhere around that 40 patients per week. Now, post-COVID, it's actually grown. Online is pretty huge for our support groups. We can have anywhere between 60 and 80 people in a support group. And I think it's just because it's convenient to do it over something like this, like a Zoom call.
Yeah.
And so that is something that every time there's a support group, we offer a discount. And our psychologist knows about that and talks about it in support group and says like, hey, if you need something today, it's 15% off. You need to order before midnight.
Sure.
And so he's also making a sale in that way where, every person that's part of the team needs to know what's happening with the sales and have a little bit of ownership in that way.
And, we've seen supplement stores that have 100 products and some that just sell the multivitamin. What do you guys focus on? Is it everything? Is it the core products?
So we have our vitamins. We carry every vitamin that we would suggest someone to be on. So we have multivitamins, of course. We have probiotics. If there's a thiamine deficiency, we have B1 to help correct that thiamine. We have zinc, things like that. So if there's something that we recommend on a regular basis, like a digestive enzyme, we carry those things.
Yeah.
The protein supplements that we carry, we're a little bit more picky on those. Because I think we have a responsibility to be picky on those because there's some products that are not as great for someone who's post-bariatric surgery.
Yeah.
For example, we don't really carry any cereals in our store. And the reason for that is someone who is post-op bariatric surgery cannot eat and drink at the same time. And so it takes a higher level of education for that person to know like, oh, well, I can have cereal, but I can't have milk with it. Yeah. So how do I use this product?
Right.
And so we're a little bit more picky on those things just because we don't want to contribute to the level of confusion that people get because there is so much misinformation out there.
Yep. Okay. So the 3 takeaways. Number 1, start mentioning the products way pre-op, from the first visit someone comes in. It sounds like you guys, that whole process is handed over to the dietitians because you guys mention it, you guys actually package it up and ship it out. You are in charge of the store.
Yeah. And I think that another thing that really bodes well in our favor in that way is we do so many one-on-one consults with our patients. They have a pre-op diet class and a post-op diet class that they have to take in addition to their monthly one-on-one visits with the dietitian. So we get a really good rapport individually with the patients. And I think that rapport and that trust can be a big key in making that sale because they know that, what you're talking about, you're the expert. You wouldn't recommend something that's not going to be beneficial in that way.
Yep.
So those one-on-one visits I think can be really beneficial in that and building those sales as well.
Totally. Okay. So pre-op starts mentioning it. All team members involved, from the psychologist to dietitian to the people at check-in, check-out.
Yep.
And then number 3, post-op, it's still being mentioned and talked about at support group. And this is, I don't think I've heard anyone else say that, but matching the Amazon price makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. It's something that I think helps people know like they're not being taken advantage of. You know, a lot of times that's, I think, something that some patients can feel like, oh, you know,
Right.
these are expensive. How much can I save? And so us trying to give them the best price possible is, I think, a really important factor
Yeah.
that people can latch on to.
And the price on Amazon is not that different though, is it?
Few bucks.
Yeah. That's what.
Yeah. A few bucks. And, you know, I think that that few dollars though, can make a difference. I think most of our stuff is maybe two, three, four, maybe $4 cheaper. But we also provide free shipping, and we do priority mail with 1 or 2 day
Yeah.
shipping. And so if we're priced $2 to $3 below Amazon, plus you're ordering on a day when you get a discount, that's going to be quite a bit of savings.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, man, that I think covered that topic really well and answered all my questions. Do you have anything
Awesome.
else to say before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that it's a good thing to build up your store at your practice, just because it does make it easier on patients, where they know if it's coming from the office where they had their surgery, it's quality things. They don't have to do the head hunting. They don't have to worry about if this is the right thing or not. If it's coming from the practice, this has to be good stuff, you know? And so I think it can really take a load off of the patient's plate by being able to offer it and talk about it in that way.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
yeah.
Okay. Lauren, thank you so much for your time and your input. Give me 1 second. I'll stop the recording.
Okay.